November 24th, 1971. A quiet afternoon flight leaves Portland heading towards Seattle. Nothing unusual. Just another short trip across the Pacific Northwest. But somewhere above the clouds, one man calmly hands a note to a flight attendant. The note contains a chilling message. I have a bomb. Within the next few hours, that man will hijack the plane, demand $200,000 in cash, parachute into the darkness, and disappear. Forever. No body. No confirmed identity. No arrest. More than 50 years later, the mystery of D.B. Cooper remains one of the most famous unsolved crimes in American history. Who was he? Did he survive the jump? Or is the truth of America's most mysterious hijacking still hidden somewhere in the forests of the Pacific Northwest? This is the story of the greatest unsolved skyjacking in U.S. history. The suspect bought his ticket under the name Dan Cooper. He boarded Boeing 727 Flight 305, operated by Northwest Orient Airlines. Witnesses described him as calm, polite, and completely ordinary. Mid-40s, dark suit, black tie, sunglasses. Nothing about him seemed threatening, until he handed the note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. At first, she thought it was a phone number. But Cooper leaned closer and quietly said, "You'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Inside his briefcase, she saw red cylinders, wires, and a battery. Whether it was real or not, nobody wanted to find out. Cooper remained calm the entire time. He didn't shout. He didn't panic. Instead, he ordered bourbon and soda while the plane circled above Seattle. His demands were simple: $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. Authorities quickly realized something chilling. This man knew exactly what he was doing. The FBI later concluded that Cooper likely had military or aviation knowledge. He understood aircraft mechanics. He knew the Boeing 727 had a rear staircase that could be lowered mid-flight, a feature almost no passenger would know about. When the plane landed in Seattle, authorities followed Cooper's instructions carefully. The passengers were released, but Cooper kept the crew on board. Agents delivered the $200,000 ransom, equivalent to over $1.5 million today. The cash consisted of 10,000 $20 bills, each with recorded serial numbers. Then the plane took off again, this time heading south. It was now dark. The plane flew through heavy rain and freezing winds over Washington state. Cooper gave strange instructions to the pilots. Fly at 10,000 feet. Keep the cabin unpressurized. Maintain a speed of 170 knots. Then he did something terrifying. He opened the rear staircase of the plane. At 8:13 p.m., somewhere above the forests near Mount St. Helens, Cooper jumped into the storm, with $200,000 strapped to his body. And just like that, he vanished. The moment the plane landed, the investigation began. The Federal Bureau of Investigation launched one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history. The operation was called NORJAC, short for Northwest Hijacking. Agents searched. Dense forests, rivers, mountains. Helicopters scanned miles of wilderness. But they found nothing. No parachute. No body. No Cooper. It was as if the sky had swallowed him. For almost a decade, the case went cold. Then something shocking happened in 1980. An 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram was digging in the sand along the Columbia River. Suddenly, he uncovered something strange. Bundles of rotting cash. Nearly $5,800 from Cooper's ransom money. The serial numbers matched perfectly. But the discovery raised even more questions. How did the money get there? Was Cooper dead? Or did someone bury the cash? To this day, It remains the only confirmed physical evidence linked to the hijacker. Over the decades, investigators examined hundreds of suspects. One of the most famous was Richard McCoy Jr. In 1972, he committed a similar hijacking using a parachute. But evidence later showed he was not Cooper. Another suspect was Robert Rackstraw, a Vietnam War veteran with parachuting experience. Some investigators believed Rackstraw had the skills and personality to pull off the crime, but the FBI never officially confirmed him as Cooper. Despite decades of investigation, the true identity of D.B. Cooper remains unknown. Experts are divided. Some believe Cooper could not have survived. The conditions were brutal. Freezing temperatures, heavy rain, pitch-black darkness, rough mountainous terrain. He also jumped wearing business shoes, not skydiving gear. But others believe the opposite. Cooper seemed incredibly prepared. He knew the aircraft. He requested multiple parachutes, possibly to trick authorities into thinking he would take a hostage. He may have been a trained paratrooper. If that's true, he might have landed safely and disappeared forever. For 45 years, the FBI investigated the mystery. Thousands of suspects, hundreds of theories, millions of dollars spent. Finally, in 2016, the FBI made a surprising decision. They officially closed the investigation. Not because the mystery was solved, but because there were simply no more leads. The man known as D.B. Cooper had beaten one of the most powerful investigative agencies in the world. Today, Cooper has become a strange figure in American folklore. Books, movies, documentaries. Some people see him as a criminal. Others see him as a kind of outlaw legend, a man who committed the perfect crime. But the truth remains hidden. Somewhere in the forests, or buried in history. And just like that, the man known as D.B. Cooper vanished into the darkness. No body, no confirmed identity, no answers. More than 50 years later, the mystery still haunts investigators, historians, and true crime fans across America. Did Cooper die in the freezing wilderness that night? Or did he quietly walk away with the perfect crime? Maybe the truth is still out there, hidden somewhere in the forests of the Pacific Northwest, waiting to be discovered. This is Dark Files, USA. And remember, some secrets in American history were never meant to be solved.